So I was requested to do this problem here, this function, simplify it, and find what types of things we're looking at within this function. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and factor things out. So when I look at the top, I've got a negative 3x over here on my left, on my right, and I want to move it to the left. And I see that 3 goes into 15 as well. So I'm going to pull out a negative 3, and then I give it x, gives me my negative 3x, and I'm going to have a negative 5, which gives me my 15. Negative 3, negative 5 gives me positive 15 here. And I'll look at factoring the bottom. I have 15, what goes into 15, 3 and 5. And I see that a negative 5 and a negative 3 gives me negative 8. Negative times negative is positive. So the factoring there is x minus 3 and x minus 5. So from this, I'm going to have what my zeros are, what x cannot be. X cannot be 3, x cannot be 5. So then the next question is, are they removable or are they not? So when I look, I've got x minus 5 on top, x minus 5 on the bottom. These do cancel out, and this means that the x minus 5 is removable. Okay? I can take out this, which means that it's just going to be a hole within my graph. Okay? It's not an asymptote, it's a hole. It's removable because I can cancel it out here. The x minus 3 is not cancelable, so it is not removable. Okay? It tells me that I've got an asymptote there. So this then gives me, when I simplify, minus 3 over x minus 3. So the next thing I want to know is, what is my y-intercept? So my y-intercept is where x equals 0. So if I make x equals 0 here, I get negative 3 divided by negative 3, which is 1. And I want to know what my x-intercept is if y is equal to 0. Well, I've got negative 3 on top. Since I have negative 3 on top, I cannot have a 0, so there is no x-intercept. Okay, so I've got zeros at 3 and 5. 5 is removable. 3 is not removable. I've got 1 is going to be, my y-intercept is at 1. And then there's no x-intercept. Okay, if I make y equals 0, it doesn't work. And then if I'm just curious about what my graph would look like, we know that we have an asymptote at 3. I know that it's going to cross here at 1. So I've got this. And I have this. So my graph is going to look something like this. And this is 3. So here's 4 and here's 5. And actually I'm going to have a little hole there at 5 where it doesn't work. I hope that answers your questions.